Y'all, this has been life-changing for me. Like, I am thrilled to be here, and I'm so grateful to be in the presence of each and every one of you. I was like, y'all, I'm about to go meet the original, the beast. I'm about to go meet the GOAT. But you know what? I came in here and I started talking to y'all, and I was like, well, dang, we all some goats. That's a lot of goatish up in here. That was gonna be a farm. Yeah, because I'm feeling it, because we are doing such an amazing thing, but it's amazing what you can do when you have a team of folk that are like-minded. So I'm gonna start by just kind of going over some things with you guys. So we have a sister, Deborah Feathers. She put a post inside of our group not too long ago. Let me start my timer. All right, so she had put a post inside of the group not too long ago, and the post said, behind every strong woman is a story that gave her no choice. And I was like, you're so right. Look at Tina. Tina was like, you know, Tina wasn't going back to Ike. She was out of there. She had no choice, right? I get it that, you know, that's like a pretty dramatic, circumstance to make you get up and go. But we all have something that makes us get up and go. So as I go through this, I'm going to be talking about the choices that I made, some good, some bad, but mostly where I continue to push through and why I continue to push through. So story number one, I graduated in 2012 with my second degree. I had started off with, commercial and education, not education, but writing, communication, it was communication, and journalism. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go and work for things. And I was like, I don't wanna do this. So I went back to school, and then I went back to school again. I just kept going back to school. I really like school. I got a lot of debt, but it's okay. So anyway, I did this, and this was in 2012, and I graduated with a child development and a family studies degree. In 2015, I met my husband, and I said, I want a child care facility, but really for teacher kids. And he was like, well, that's exclusionary. And I was like, I don't care, because I was like, this is what I desire. I want to see it happen. I want to make this thing happen, because in my state, in Texas, if you are a child care provider, if you're an educator, you probably have maxed out on the amount of money that you can have in order to go to preschool. So I thought, if I did this for us and being able to give back and figured out a way that I could, make it easier and less expensive and this, that, and the other. I had this big grandiose idea, and he was like, okay, I could rock with that. So that was like 2012, graduated. I came up with the name of the school. 2015, we met, we got married. 2022 is when I opened. It took me 10 years for the actualization of this preschool to actually come into fruition. So let's just back up a little bit. That was in 15. I told him that's what I wanted. We had this heated discussion, and that was August the 31st, 2021. It was a Tuesday morning. It was like 6:45. I was on my way to work, and he pulled this stunt that he does when he has a problem with something. He don't ever do it in my face. He don't do it when we're happy. He don't do it. He does it when I'm on my way to work. And so he's like, babe, you don't care about our family. You care more about those school people and that school and the people and the children, and you don't care about us. And I was like, who are you talking to, bro? I was like, dude, you like trying to get fought, because my husband's 6'5", so you're trying to get fought. So I was really upset with him, and it really hurt my heart, but I understood what he was saying. But it also became that catalyst for me. It was the thing that made me go. So that was August 31st. October is when I found joy. That was October 2022. January, I had missed the cutoff. Some of y'all got it in October 22, didn't y'all? I didn't. I came at the end. I missed out. So January rolled around. She did like, hey, come join us. And I was like, I'm in this thing. January 3rd, I pushed the button. I was like, Cooper, because you guys don't know this about me. I don't like to tell the truth about money that I spend. So I was like, honey, I want to do this. And he was like, do what? I was like, I want to burn this program. He's like, what program? I was like, the program. He was like, the program for what? I was like, the program for preschool. It's going to help me do it. And he's like, okay, Quinn. So I did it. Pushed the button, and I joined. And I was like, I'm in! But I had already started planning this program. I'm like, you heard Sharice, kinda, because I had actually started to build this preschool with just the free book, right? This is the reason why people need to join the program, because you will make mistakes. if you only have just the book, because it's the surface level. I needed the guides, I needed the teamwork, I needed the people, I needed the Sharices, I needed the Jellies, I needed the Dons. Heck, I just used Don not too long ago, but we're not there yet. So we're talking about these things that I needed. I needed these things. So I quit my job in April. Wait, back up. January, I'm in. March, February, I found a place. March, I moved into that place. April, I quit my job. Wow. June, I opened the door to 14 summer learning camp preschool students.
Nice. Wow.
So, woo, that was fast. Like, wait, right foot. Not left foot. You don't drive with your left foot unless you drive a stick. I can't. So, I was like, I can do this. I'm going to do some things. And today, we operate a state-approved private preschool for preschool students ages 3 up to 3rd grade. Oh, wow. So our program is growing, and I'm super excited about it, and I'm excited that I'm going to continue to grow. But as I go through this, my topic is actually about worry. And that's a heavy topic, right? But if you're in business, the likelihood of you not being worried about something is slim. So as we go through this, I decided we're also going to do a little bit of teaching strategies and techniques that you can use with your children online and in person. And so that first one that we're actually going to cover our strategy is our attention getter, because there's nothing worse than somebody says, "Hey, are you listening? Hey, hey!" Little boy. You don't want to do that, especially if you're online, because they can hear you. They see you. Yeah. So we're going to practice one. We're going to call our attention getter. And guess what you guys may know is called class yes. I'm going to say class, you're going to say yes. Well, however I say class, you have to say yes. Class.
Yes.
Class, class.
Yes. Yes.
Class, class. That's not how I said it.
I'm sorry. I have to listen which one.
Class, class. That's how we're going to do it. And that's how we're going to get our attention. So as I go through things, I'm going to do some other stuff. I'm also going to say mirrors on. When I say mirrors on, put your hands up. And you're going to do whatever I do, because that's what mirrors do. They reflect, right? The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to do teach and okay. When I say teach, you're going to turn to your neighbor and you're going to tell them what you just learned. This skill is called whole brain teaching. It involves your kiddos to do everything that you are doing, and when they are doing it, they are learning in a different capacity. It's kind of like riding a bike, right? You may not have ridden a bike in 30 years, but I bet you if somebody put a bike in front of you and a pit bull, you're gonna go, okay? So we're gonna do some whole brain teaching as we go through this process. So what is worry? When we talk about what worry actually is, it's a debilitating paralysis-like experience. That is truly what worry is. So when you define worry, worry looks like this, or it sounds like this: to torment oneself, or to suffer disturbing thoughts. Class, class?
Yes.
Can we agree that that is negative?
Yes.
Okay. So, how many of you know that your thoughts will manifest themselves even if you never speak them?
Oh, yeah.
Over the course of this past year, I've experienced all of that. So Joy talks about me talking about like I have this outlook, but a lot of my outlook is me flat out avoiding stuff. Over the past 2 days, I had to rewrite my message today because I couldn't talk about what I was going to talk about before, because I realized when I was doing the work over the past 2 days that anything I did was not healthy. None of what I was doing was healthy. It was actually causing detriment to myself, to my spirit man, to my mind, to my heart, to my family. I don't appreciate you for that, Joy. Don't nobody want to do all this work. But the work is where you come in and you do what you gotta do to be the better you every single day. So I had to rewrite this. I was like, man, dang, but it's cool. So story time. If you ever saw me on a Zoom call at night, do you guys know what room I'm in?
The gray room.
That room is gray. I would sometimes not even leave that room. I would stay in that room morning to night. I would get off from work, I would go in that room, and I would work, and I would just be delirious the next day because I was so tired of working. Y'all, there were 2 beds in that room. Y'all have seen my kids bounce around in that room because they sleep in that room with me because I didn't turn off work, right? So I'm worried about all these things, and I would have all these moments where I was just like overwhelmed by everything. So some of the things that were worrying me, that even though I was not speaking them out loud, they were bothering me. I would fret over my daily tasks. Planning never seemed like I was planning enough. I felt like I was not enough. I was losing preschoolers because my kids are throat. It's cool though. I was struggling to fill my morning, AM, Monday, Wednesday, Friday classes. I couldn't figure out exactly what I was doing wrong. It was so frustrating. So, okay, I'll work harder. Then idea after idea, that didn't work. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? I was tormenting myself. And as I continued to do all these things, I was still trying to figure out, how do I grow this business? What do I do? I have 4 classes. Well, I have 2 operating classes and I cannot fill them. Okay, now I'm gonna have to get licensed. Okay, if I could get licensed, then I could turn all these calls that I get every single day. So every time my phone rang, hi, how are you? I was just wondering if you had space for an 18-month-old? Do you have space for a 2-year-old? No, we don't have them. Quit calling me for that. It says 3 to 5. Lord, how'd you find me? Oh, I saw it on Facebook. It says 3 to 5.
They don't read.
Oh, I Googled you. What'd it say? 3 to 5. It said 3 to 5. I was having a hard time. I was so angry. Stop calling me for this. But that was the thing that made me do something. I'm like, Lord, what do I do? I'm like, sure, what do I do? She's like, girl, start a wait list. Oh, okay, yeah, that's smart. Call them back, right? Call them when they get there. Come tour with us anyway. Come do all these things, but I'm still beating myself up because I'm not reaching the goal that I thought I was gonna reach because I just knew I was gonna walk in this thing and I was gonna be a bad I was gonna walk in there like, welcome, girl, listen over here. Y'all been what you waiting on? And yeah, some of them came. I felt Tuesday, Thursday, it was like boom, bam, wham, thank you, ma'am, right? Yeah. And then at Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it was going slowly. And I was going to have to do some things that I did not want to do. I didn't want to give up anything else because I had quit working because I had given up so much. How do I make this work? Tormenting, disturbing thoughts. I got to get licensed. What do I do with this? So during that process, I'm going to talk about funding. So I'm fast forwarding into the new year because I started last year. So this is 2022 fall. I'm coming into 2023. And it's the new year and I'm seeking funding. I'd missed a grant and I had already prepared and worked for that grant, only to find out that I couldn't even get the grant. So I was like, okay, Lord, what next? So let's try something else. So let me go seek a small business loan. I go seek a small business loan. They're like, hey, how many of you know they only give money to people that don't need money?
Yeah. Right.
Then why do I need a loan? Yeah. That's so silly. But they only give money to people who don't actually need the money. So now that my husband is carrying the weight of our, 6 kids, and me and him, wow, we don't have anything else to give. Now mind you, I done ripped 80K out of our diet. It's up to you, Pam. What you got? So I was like, oh my God, how do I do this? And I tell my husband, sorry, ma'am. He's carrying you have a 100 to 1% ratio, ma'am. Like, you've exceeded it. Like, we can't do anything for you. And I was like, wow. And they said, oh, well, your business, it's actually making money. This is good, but we can't use your money because you're a startup. You gotta have 2 years. Yeah. Stop telling me the good and the bad. I don't want the bad. Just get off my phone. So I'm mad. So this is what's happening to me. But let me tell you how this thing happens. I call the lady calls me. I've been waiting on this call. I'm like, Reese, I finally got a person that's going to be able to do this. It's called the People Fund, and I'm going to be able to do this because they can work with me and they can give me a micro loan. I'm going to be able to get this $50K that I need to transform this building, to do this build out. That way I can get licensed. If I can get licensed, I can get the kids. If I get the kids, then I can be full. If I can get in full, and I can be everything I need to be so that I can get forward and I can just get out of the classroom. Because how many know you cannot work on your business if you always working in your business? Yeah. You can't. So I'm suffering, I'm losing, I'm not winning, and I have to figure this thing out. So Y'all remember that movie? It was a Jim Carrey movie. He was a lawyer, but he was a shady lawyer.
Liar, liar.
Liar, liar, that's it, liar, liar. I forgot to think of the name of that movie because I was rewriting this last night because Joy made me do work, right? So that movie, Liar, liar. So when, her name was Miss Terry Ramirez, when Miss Ramirez finally called me, I answered the phone and I was like, hi, how are you? And she was like, Miss Cooper? And I was like, yes. And she was just like, so I'm here, we need to talk about your paperwork. And I was like, yes, I've submitted. I became totally and completely unintelligible. I could not speak. I called my husband, I said, and I looked at my 4-year-old son in the classroom and I said, Coda. He said, yes. I said, call daddy. And he said, call daddy. And I was able to call my husband. My husband had to continue that conversation with this woman because I could not intelligibly speak. I was so anxious about this call, I couldn't even get the words out of my mouth. And you know, I got plenty of words. I'm the word queen. So I was like, oh my God, I can't get these words out of my mouth. Oh my God, what is wrong with me? Let's keep going. That was like January 24th. There was another time, I'm sitting inside of the room, I'm on a Zoom call with Sharice and another friend, and we're talking about something and my face just goes numb. The whole right side of my face went numb. Y'all, you could have done a root canal on my face and I would not have felt it. We were talking about the business. Whenever I talked about my business, I got hives. I have not said these things out loud. I've not talked about where I am. I've not said that I'm in pain. I've not said that I'm hurting. I have not said I'm not sleeping. I have not said that I cannot put down my glass of red wine. Also, if you might saw me in the middle of the night in the living room, I would have had a glass of red wine and popcorn because that's what I was living off of. I was struggling, y'all. I was struggling. But on the outside, I was like, hey, everybody, how you doing? It's a wonderful day today. We hit the winds blowing from the southeast side of Fort Worth, Texas, and I'm doing great. I was not doing great, y'all. I was suffering the effects of worry. So here's how we combat worry. We do it with our will. So we get this paralysis of worry, and it's really nothing new to me because what y'all see is this bippity boppity hippity hoppity Quinn. It's actually ADHD. Go figure, right? It's like, yes, I know. So I am a super medicated person. I've been super medicated since I was 9. But with this hippity hoppity bippity boppity up here, Alexis is nodding her head because she's like, you're one of my people, the specials. Yes, we special ed kids also have these extreme lows. And a lot of parents don't know what to do with that, right? They're like, gosh, you're happy and now you're not. I don't know what to do with you. You're crying excessively. For girls, it looks like a lot of tears. For boys, it may look like a whole lot of anger.
Yeah.
So when you're going through all these things, these are the things that I always knew. And so I did behavioral therapy as a little kid. And as I did behavioral therapy, I learned a lot. So let's jump in. Mirrors on. Awesome. We're going to center ourselves with the 5 rules. So rules of 5. Say rules of 5.
Rules of 5.
Here you go. Get ready to write. Conscious discipline. This is what I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach you the rules of 5 using conscious discipline. Conscious discipline is done by Dr. Becky Bailey. She's pretty awesome. She first tells you that you need to figure out who you are before you enter a space with children. When you hire people, when you're having a bad day, you need to remember that. You need to know where you stand at that point in time before you address tinies. Because little people don't always have the words, but they do have receptive language. They are receiving what you're giving. So what are you giving them? So one of the things that she teaches us to do, and this is how we combat worry for tiny people when they're tired or they're upset or they're crying, we often tell them, hey, because we always drop down to their level, let's breathe. Well, how many know the wrong time to teach a kid to breathe is when they upset? Right. And you just got to be all spit up, just spat all in the face. Now you got COVID. You got conjunctivitis now because that's the wrong time to teach them. So Dr. Bailey tells us, hey, when we're going to teach children, we're going to teach them when they're calm So one of those things that we teach our children, and what I say, we're doing the rules of 5. We're gonna take 5 deep breaths. We're gonna practice it together as mirrors on. You're gonna take a deep breath in through your nose. Out through your mouth. And you're gonna drop those fingers as they go. You're gonna try to get that air all the way out. And these are things that you're gonna teach these kids. And today I have little kids that are like, oh my God, Rosie, you okay? Breathe. You know, because if you teach them, they'll do it. But we as adults, we often forget mirrors down. We often teach them, and then we forget to practice it.
Yes.
Y'all remember practice what you preach?
Right.
Right? Walk that walk. 5 senses, right? Get ready to write. You want to look at 5 things. Center yourself. Look at 5 things. 4, touch 4 things. Your next sense is your sense of smell. Sense of listening, your hearing. Hear 3 things. 2, smell 2 things. 1, taste anything, right? This is the way that you learn to center yourself as an adult. This is what I was doing as I start to feel the nerves creep up on me. I speak all the time, but I feel a little different today because I want to give you something that I know to be truth, right? So I literally looked at 5 things as I sat there and my hands started to shake when she said, fine, commit. And I couldn't even pull my Post-it note out of the container. I looked at the brick wall. I looked at this thing up here. I don't know what that little thing is. I looked at this line. I then came to this one light. I looked at the second light. And I looked at that balloon. This red balloon right there. Because as you start to center yourself, you're able to do things a little differently. And you keep doing it until you can get to the next one. 4 things. Okay, touch 4 things. I have my pencil in my hand. You're going to really receive what you just got because you're combating that worry. You're going to listen. What do you hear right now? What do you hear? Tell me. What else do you hear?
Your voice. Your shoes stepping.
Hair heels.
Right. You are focusing on something. You are intentionally trying to receive that. You're centering yourself. Smell.
My chapstick.
Right. I can smell my hair product. I ain't put no hair product in my head in days, but I smell it because I'm trying to. Taste. All I got is dry mouth. Right? Your Celsius. And at that point, you can actually pick up your Celsius and drink from it because you've centered yourself. So that is the rule of 5. 5 deep breaths, and then using your 5 senses to center yourself. Class?
Yes.
Teach. Turn to your neighbor. Tell them what you just learned. Talk at the same time. You're doing the rules of 5. What you just learned?
Look at 5 things. Look at 5 things. You touch 4 things. You hear 3 things. You smell 3 things. And you taste anything.
And we're back in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. So here's the last thing you need to know about combating worry, right? Worry is not okay, let me just say this. Sometimes people say, I have a concern. I have thoughts about. That is not worry. Worrying is really when you are tormenting yourself regarding something. So concern is acknowledging that there is a negative situation. Thought is taking time to decide what can be done. Consideration is thinking about the elements associated with it so that you avoid any additional parameters of negativity. And then the last thing that you could ever do is actually just take action. So, yesterday was my husband's birthday.
Aww.
And so, the first thing I did when I woke up, I got online and I sent him Tiff Treats cookies, because that's his favorite cookies. And he took off the whole week to be at home with the boys and to celebrate his birthday. And I thought, okay, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna send him cookies. And let me make sure that his gift cards and things made it, because he likes to shop by himself because apparently I stress him out. And so I just wanted to send him his gift cards and all these other things. And because I'm stuck on Texas time, I'm waking up and it's like 5 o'clock in the morning here, but it's 7 o'clock at home. So I'm up like wired, ready to go, start the day. And I noticed that my phone has that blinking thing that it does when I have messages. I opened my phone and I had several messages. I had phone calls from my mama, 4 of them. Had phone calls from my sister, both of them. I had phone calls from my daughter, my oldest daughter, she's 20. When I picked up the phone and I called my mama, I was like, Mom, what's going on? And meanwhile, I opened that phone and I realized my husband had been admitted into the hospital. He had been diagnosed with something called AFib, and this means he has an irregular heartbeat, and it was causing some issues. My husband got out of the hospital yesterday, so I feel pretty excited about that. But you know, my initial thought was,
I wasn't there.
let me get home to my sugar pony pudding pop, because this cannot be the last time I say, see you later. Right. I didn't say that out loud, but that's what I thought. This is awful. What do I do? How do I function? Where do I go? What do I do? But let me tell you something about this sisterhood, because I'm crying in the restroom, but I'm sleeping next to this girl right here. Ali said to me, I want to pray for you. Let's pray. And I was like, you sure right, let's pray. Let's pray. Now listen, she starts off speaking in English. Oh, I'm good there. She starts speaking in Spanish. I have no idea what she's saying, but you know what? It does not matter. Because right now she's saying, we're going to stand in agreement. And that is what we do here. We stand in agreement with each other for everything that we need in our lives, and we work together. My husband often makes this joke. He says to me, Quinn, your whole demeanor could just be changed with a taco. When I'm hungry, I'm a mess. Like, I need a Snickers, right? So I'm like, let me get my butt downstairs, let me go eat. Let me go eat. If I can eat, I can get my mind together. I'd already put the ticket in my queue. Like, I'm just gonna buy this ticket, I'm gonna get home to my lovey-dovey, I'm gonna make sure that everything's gonna be okay, because if I can be there, then I feel at peace, everything's gonna be okay. Now, mind you, I'd already set up the parameters. I had to stop, get down the stairs, and eat. I get to the coffee stand and I'm pushing down the coffee, I'm making my coffee, and I'm stuck. So I start to center myself. Once I'm centered, I walked out of the lobby. I went to the restroom. And I had to think about what it is that I needed to do. So I went through those steps. My concern, yes, my husband is in the hospital. My thought, I can go home today for $400, or tomorrow after my presentation at 7 p.m. I can get out of here at $250. My consideration, if I go home, what do I do? Sit and hold his hand while he sleeps, connected to machines, and cry some more? Will he be okay with me spending more money? Probably not, because that's probably gonna cause more stress. If he didn't have a heart attack, he was gonna have it then. And then I remembered, you called your mama down, you paid for her ticket, you flew her from Massachusetts to be at home for a week with your children. My daughter, who's in New York, said, Mommy, I'll come home. I'll come home, I'll help. I'll take care of what you need to. You stay there. This is my 20-year-old baby, Mommy, you stay there. You need this, you stay there. And I said, and she was like, and I know Cooper would want you to stay too. I said, okay. I also have an older son, he's 21. He shot me a text, he was like, I got it, I got the puppy. Because he ain't gonna get his little brothers, they worse than a puppy. I got it, I got the puppy. So I said, okay. Did I tell y'all I love my sisterhood?
We love you too.
Now let me tell y'all. Jelly, when I was going through a stressful moment, as I'm really learning how to recenter myself, she said to me, Quinn, you sing. And I said, I know I sing. And she said, well, you need to take action. So as I centered myself and I went to the restroom, because I was finally able, and I didn't want the people in the La Quinta Inn to look at me like, girl, what's wrong with her? Why she crying? I went to the restroom. And with tears in my eyes, I dropped my hands and said, I need you now. another minute, not an hour of another day. Lord, I stretch my hands to thee. Come, Lord, and rescue me. I need you to do it right away.
Yes, Lord.
And as soon as I closed my mouth, he said, stay. And I came in here, I wiped my face from that restroom, and I came in here to do what I've been called to do. I came in here to walk in the purpose that God had designed me to be. See, when Joy was talking about all this stuff with this winding framework, I could see myself in every piece of those things. And what if I could just be that dynamic character that she's describing, that if you do what you have been called to do and answer that calling and stop running from it, what could you get? So I sent up a quick prayer. I said, thank you, God, for humbling me under your mighty, unchanging hand. I thank you so much for allowing me to cast my cares on you, because, Lord, I cannot do this. I do not want to go in here worrying if my husband is going to come out of this hospital today. But you know what, enemy? I recognize you. I recognize you trying to steal my purpose. But you cannot have my purpose. You cannot have my joy. You cannot have the people that are surrounding me. You cannot have each and every one of these people who have that purpose, who are designed for a greater good. This is them, and this is where we stand today.
Amen.
So, enemy, you got the right one and the wrong one today. Let's go.